Hey everybody, I just want to welcome you to the first episode ever of Defcon Flannel. Just a couple of dudes getting around together and talking about a couple of guy things. Some bullshit, some fun, some sports, some entertainment, whatever you like. I'm Travis. I'm going to be driving you down this rabbit hole tonight. Driving shotgun with me is my pal Ryan.
I got a throbbing 10-incher right now in my pants.
So we're going that way already, huh? It's not even going on there.
I can pull any punches.
What are you drinking over there? What is that?
I have got it's a Brewmaster Mike's Citra Mantra from a company called Otter Creek up in Vermont. They make very good things in Vermont for the most part. They make hippies, marijuana, ski slopes, and I don't believe there's anything else up there. But this beer happens to be pretty good, so we'll give them a pass on that.
I mean, you've been to Vermont?
I have been to Vermont.
Is it nice?
It's kind of... It's just kind of there. I mean, it's... You know what? You know what Vermont is? Vermont is when you're driving on the 90, when it's fall time. It just looks like that shit all the time, which is nice.
So nothingness is
but
what
I mean,
you're saying,
you got
basically?
fucking moose and raccoons and shit up there, and you're like...
The Boston Hotel, just over and over
I'll be
again.
honest with you. I drove through it once for like 20 minutes. I've never fucking been there. Don't listen to me anyway. So
me personally, I'm going with the old chocolate stop from Brooklyn tonight.
Yeah.
A couple of these at, 10.5%, and I'm already
10%.
feeling pretty good here. So...
Yeah.
We want to welcome you to our first ever episode. There's going to be probably some bumps in the road, but hopefully we can get through this tonight pretty well. Normally we'll be joined by our buddy Toots, every once in a while by our buddy Brian. But from there, let's just kind of kick things off.
And every third night with Toots' mom.
Ah,
boing, there it is.
There it is. So let's just kind of kick this off and see where everything's going, you know what I mean? So, before I came over tonight to talk about this with you, Sabres game, Dominic Hasek. Pretty exciting, I think. Getting him into the Sabres Hall of Fame, retiring the number next year. Growing up with him, he's the best goalie I've ever seen.
You know what? And I'll never forget. I think it was back when he first came over. I think it was like 93, 94 season. And one of the first games he played, I'm walking out and I'm like, obviously didn't say, Dad, what the fuck is going on? But I mean, this dude just flopped all over the ice like Toots' mom. I mean, just incredible. I mean, just the most unorthodox, weirdest shit you would ever see in your life. Like that's the way I'll explain it to my son. I mean, when he grows up, without actually seeing those games live, to see this dude, and you see especially coming up through time, you look at Patrick Waugh. I mean, you look at Martin Brodeur, a lot of the stand-up goalies, and all of a sudden, here's this fucking dude flapping all over the ice like a dead fish, and it was just unbelievable. And it worked.
He never looked like he was in position to make a save
at all.
I remember wraparounds being the biggest fear I had of watching him play. And you see a dude on the other team come around the net, and he was never there. But then all of a sudden, he's on his back, his blocker, his waffles stretched out, his gloves up in the air, his legs are doing things. It's like, I don't know what this guy was doing.
I'll never remember it. Probably at least 10 times in his career. Fucking breakaway coming through center ice, and here comes Hasek
against the Islanders, right? That was the Islanders,
dude,
wasn't it?
It was against the Islanders at least once, this dude, honestly, this dude I saw do it at least 4 or 5 times, and all of a sudden, he's out of the fucking face-off circle, trying to fucking kickflip the fucking puck out of there.
The one I'm picturing, of you just saying that now, the one I'm picturing is... I believe it was when the Islanders were wearing their stupid Fisherman Joe, what the hell jerseys those are?
Hey,
the ones...
those were not stupid. Go ahead.
Hey, man, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, it was blue line. He comes out the blue line, completely flattens out. Dude was flipping over
at what
him.
point was he like, you know what would be a really good idea right now? And he just fucking charges out like he's got no pads on and flops on it.
Dude was a blast. But it's great to see that they're retiring his number next year.
Do you think when he went in and I mean the strangest picture I think, and again the biggest story going back to Hasek had sex with Nolan's wife, all right, and it's pretty obvious, you know. I mean,
I don't know who hasn't had sex with Ted Nolan's wife at this point.
Well, Toots' his mom.
No offense.
No. Anyway, you know, it was pretty obvious by the comments and everything.
That's 3 so far tonight. 3 Toots' mom references.
Interesting to see how that plays out. Anyway,
we love you, Toots.
So, looking at it from that standpoint, it was pretty much acknowledged that, hey, that happened, okay? Even by Ted Nolan now. Ted Nolan saying, yeah, you know, Hasek is coming back. Anything that happened in the past, you know, and it was bad, you know, it's put behind us. I mean, that just basically said, dude, fuck my wife and let me smell his fingers. And they smelled like my wife's cannoli.
Is that good?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Dominic Hasek was such a goofy motherfucking looking dude. I mean, let's be honest.
He looked good tonight, though.
He did look good tonight.
With age.
I agree. But man,
he's got those silver streaks now.
He just looks like a Czechoslovakian, high cheekbone, weird looking crack son.
Thin, wiry.
I mean, he looked weird.
What was he? Is he 6 foot? He got to be 6 foot, right?
I think he was like 5'10".
5'10". Well, regardless of the height, but he was definitely 120 pounds,
if I found out
40
he
pounds.
Fucked my wife, I would put my dick away in the garage for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but at the same time, if your wife had sex with Dominic Hasek, I'd be giving her high fives.
Remember the old MasterCard commercial that said he had a slinky for a spine, priceless?
Yeah, I remember that one, priceless.
I bet he was like, hey, I got a dick
slinky for a cock.
Slinky for a cock, that's priceless. Yeah, I bet he shook that around anywhere. Anyway, we don't want to get off topic on that. It was just something to me that was very odd. It was great that he finally came back. And one of the biggest pet peeves...
It was a good speech.
One of the biggest pet peeves, and I'll never fucking use that word again because I hate that word, and people always say that, but it sounds so stupid to me. One of the biggest things was when Hasek left that really got me was, before he even played a game for the Red Wings, he said, I will retire and go to the Hall of Fame as a Red Wing. And that drove me fucking nuts. That drove me nuts. And in fact, today, actually, I was thinking of it this morning. I got online, and it was back from like 2001. And I haven't heard anything about that since then, and I'm sure within the next couple of years, I think he's up this year for the Hall of Fame. I'm sure this year or next year when he goes in, obviously that'll be brought up before he actually gets elected. Oh yeah. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to say that bygones are bygones. Left, though, is what comes down to. I'm going to say that he's going to let bygones be bygones. Gay bonds. And I'm going to say that I'm going to make a prediction that he goes in as a Sabre.
I agree. I mean, it's the way he left. Time wounds all heals.
He was 62 when he played for Ottawa, so that's not a possibility. Yeah, going back and reading the shit, what he did was he basically held Buffalo hostage and told Darcy Regier that I will not accept a trade if you try to include any good players coming back from the Red Wings. I need all the good players we can get. It was basically like a fucking baby fit. If you go back and really look at it now, it was kind of a joke.
It's a young kid who, well, when did he get traded? When was it? Mid like 2003? It was
2001. And I'll never forget the game that he played. I was actually the first game for the Red Wings that he played. I was watching, and I was actually in a chicken wing eating contest. Chicken wing eating contest.
But even so, he's at that point of his career at that point, at age probably 32, 33, 34, because that was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. He's in his 40s now. So he's 32, 33 or so. He just went to the Cup, got a taste of the Cup. Got a burn from him. And now this Sabres team, which, for the past, 16 years, this team has been up and down. Down more than anything lately.
Like somebody else I know.
So it's there we go. Anyway, it comes to a point in his career, I get why he'd want to leave. Mm-hmm. I get, going to a team that, like the Red Wings, that are constant contenders. It does suck. But, again, like you said, time heals things.
And it's funny because it's come full circle.
I love the dude.
Me too. I loved him then. I love him now. But it's come full circle now to the point where it's kind of happened again with Miller. Where we got to the point where at that time with Hasek, we said, you know what? Let's move on. Let's see what we can get for him, and let's kind of restart everything and get going again. Yep. Same thing we just did with Miller. The thing that I didn't like about Hasek is I felt like I was sleeping on the couch, and he snuck up behind me and put his dick on my shoulder. Yeah. And then took a picture and showed it to all my friends. As a Buffalo sports fan, that's the way I felt about it. I felt like he anally penetrated me, and then afterwards, just tried to get a blowjob from me. And I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah, you gotta at least give the guy a reach around.
I don't know. It's hard because I really honestly think in Buffalo, especially because it's cold here, we don't have a lot to do. We fall in love with our sports heroes maybe a little bit more than a lot of other cities do. So to have somebody come up for, it was basically 10 years at that point, and really fall in love and have him be the hero and the spotlight of the city, to turn around and gangbang our mom like that was just it was tough to see. And that's why I still, and again, I'm over it now, but that and the Hall of Fame thing just really, it was hard to let bygones be bygones. It is. So.
I have his rookie card, actually, from the Blackhawks, and I remember getting it. Before he was a Sabre, I had this card, and I remember looking at the dude's helmet.
It was plain white, right?
Yeah, plain white at the time. I remember looking at it and going, who is this bozo? Right. This guy is an idiot. Right. He looks like a moron, with that stupid-looking helmet. He had plain pads at that point, too, I think, with Chicago. And it's just funny that, 2 or 3 years later, he gets traded. And next thing you know, he's a Buffalo icon.
We had just gotten Grant Fuhr at the time, too. Grant Fuhr we had for like 2 years.
So we can go back and talk about the goalies that this team has had over the years, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable. Stop. Yeah, I do.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yes.
That dude had a fucking mullet coming out the back. That dude was the worst.
There was some good stuff.
We've had some pretty bad backup goalies too.
Well,
Hackett was fucking terrible. Tebow.
Hackett right now? You mean?
No, not our Hackett now. Hackett.
I don't know about this Hackett now either.
Yeah,
Though,
I agree.
We'll see how that plans out. Well, we'll see. I don't know, but I'm looking at you right now,
Mhm.
and I can't help but notice you have a dick card hanging from your hats. Let me kind of give a little clarification. What I mean by dick card, I mean it's a playing card. It's an ace of diamonds.
Yeah, this is not a get dick whenever you want for free. So
And
it's not that kind of dick
it's
card.
an absolute it's an erection. I can't stop looking at it because whenever I look at you, it's just kind of hanging.
It's a
there.
throbber. I'm not gonna lie. You know, the card doesn't do it justice. I would say it's a girthy 10 inches at least.
It's funny how this has progressed. A couple years back, I got married, and I got married too. But a couple years back, my buddy got married, and we were. This is the Brooklyn chocolate stout already starting to hit my nervous system, man. I'm already losing speech here. But we were out at the Deuce actually, and we were just kind of drinking it up. Hitting those vending machines that have this stupid bullshit in them. You know,
Where's the Deuce, by the way?
Deuce is over on near Computi's, over on Sheridan and Ted's for any local listeners we got going on there.
Is it just called the Deuce? Is that the nickname?
It's like Devlin's Deuce or something.
Oh, Devlin's Deuce.
Devlin's
Okay,
Deuce.
gotcha.
So it's the Deuce, baby.
Those are the fucking old TV.
But they got one of those giant vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that, well, not a vending machine. It's like one of those ones where you basically put a coin in, it falls down. They have it like the putt-putt and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You put the coin in, it falls down, it pushes all the coins forward, and you get X amount of coins, yada, yada, yada. Well, there's prizes on the side, and they're garbage prizes. But it was my buddy's bachelor party. We're just kind of hanging out.
Don't tell me you got dick cards.
And we got dick cards out of there. My buddy gets the dick cards. So 2 nights later at his actual wedding, he brings the dick cards.
Mm.
And he goes, I'm going to start putting them in his gift box, and where all the cards go for the envelopes. And he put like, I don't know how many, half the deck. He just shoved them all in there. Throughout the night, I don't know how many he gave out, but he gave out a ton. So couple weeks later, he gets back from his honeymoon, comes into work, and he starts talking to us. He goes, "Oh my God, my buddies! I don't know who yet. My buddies left me these dick cards all throughout all these invitations, all these wedding gifts. So whenever we look at these wedding gifts, we're seeing all these these naked dudes that are just in the worst 80s position." Just terrible.
You got the shaved down little dick mustaches going on.
Exactly. So we let him in on it and all that good stuff. So it's kind of been passed on now to our group of friends where we have dick cards and we go to each other's houses, plant them kind of inconspicuously, and just wait to get the text messages saying, "Hey, I found a dick card."
The worst part is I found probably 22 of them. And I mean, it was like over the course of a day. I was just down here.
That might be how many there were. We put.
I'm telling you. I mean, the worst part was let me just kind of recap real quick. We had a bunch of people over, played a fantastic game called
It's Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity.
Yep.
I was thinking Apples to Apples, but it's not what it is.
Yeah, it's
you haven't played.
It is Apples to Apples.
Yeah, you're looking around for dick cards right now.
I am.
But anyway,
See if I can
Cards
find
Against
out,
Humanity. If you haven't played it, it is the most fucking fun you will ever have. You get a group of people. We spill beer all over the place. Who the fuck knows what else happened? So I'm over. I'll tell you first and foremost. When I'm in my basement, it's not finished. I'll have a few beers. I like to go over and piss in the sump pump. Just what I do. Judge me if you'd like. Just what I do. Anyway, I'm over pissing in the sump pump, and I get just a gleam of light over to what everybody else is doing.
sits there, by the way, before you go anything. The urine just sits there.
Well,
unless, is your sub pump going like 20? Is it going
all the time,
like?
Yeah, it's got the automatic.
Well, right now,
flex.
especially because it's springtime, or it's getting to spring at least.
And I make sure. No, I will never. I don't piss in there in springtime because I've had it happen before I was pissing in it. It would back up and sit stale.
It just sits there,
and
then all of a sudden
and
it smells like
horrible. And I had to come down with the hose. So I won't piss in it during summertime. And it wasn't until after that started happening that I started pissing in it. And I was like, oh, it's gonna smell like that. I'm just gonna fucking piss it. Anyway, so I'm looking over and there's a gleam of light, and I hear like a bunch of fucking retarded Ewoks over here fucking giggling around. But so I see a gleam of light, and I know some shit's going down. I can't get up and do anything with these guys around because something's always going on. So I get back, and sure enough, I go to check my phone. In a matter of like 34 seconds that I was over there, I've got a dick card as my background on my phone, and I'm like, you'd be fucking kidding me. And I just start looking around, and off the bat, I spot 5 fucking dick cards. Okay? So, throughout the next day or two, and next week, randomly finding dick cards in great spots.
We hit you hard. I mean,
it was well hit.
We absolutely.
And I've got to say, as much as you guys are big fat assholes, it was nice because you didn't put them in places that my children could find them. So
There's
I've got to explain to my son.
We purposely did that.
Yeah,
We like to keep them out of the reach of the kids.
Dick cards being tasteful is like very much appreciated. If you're gonna do dick cards and you got kids, you got to be tasteful about it, which I appreciate you guys doing. But I found the mother of all dick cards today, and this is the one I'm wearing on my hat. So I'm upstairs with that. I ran up and I was like,
"This is my favorite one too." When I
Lindsay.
placed it,
Lindsay's my wife, just so you know. But I thought that she was in on this, and I'm as soon as this happened, I'm looking around for a camera because it was so perfect. So we're having a pasta dish today, and she goes, you know what? Can you go down? Every now and again I put a few things. I've got a beer fridge down here. I put a few things in my freezer, just kind of utilize space. So all of a sudden, I come down. She's like, oh yeah, can you go get me the breadsticks? And so all of a sudden I come down. I open the freezer, and somebody had taped up to the back of the freezer.
We scrounged that duct tape.
Biggest
scrounge
throbbing penis I had ever seen in my life.
It's the ace of diamonds. What that is right there, man.
I lost it. I was like, you gotta be. It was funny.
I don't think Lindsay knew about it either. I don't think she knew about it.
She didn't. I was looking for breadsticks, and I got a breadstick, all right?
Yeah.
It was a big, throbby, veiny breadstick.
That's definitely an off-guard breadstick right there, man.
To kind of piggyback on that, another one that was fantastic. When everybody was down here, the day after, I must have just kind of found one coming down randomly. They were up in the rafters and everything. So anyway, I took one and put it in my back pocket. Completely forgot about it. I've got like 6 or 7 suits that I wear on occasion. My job kind of has me dressing up a little bit, so I must have put it in my back pocket. So anyway, and we'll get to this story a little bit more in depth, but we get to we had an event at the casino. It was kind of a leadership event, and get in there, and we're waiting in line to
check in, right? Yep. Okay.
And so I'm sitting there, and there's nothing going on. I'm getting fidgety, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling around.
Is this Niagara Seneca, by the way?
Yes, the Seneca Niagara Casino. Yep. So. Which is the weirdest fucking place in the world. It's the only place where you can still fucking smoke like it's Denny's in 1982 all night
long.
Awful.
Only place in New York State where you can smoke and
walked into a big cloud like a big dick in the face. But anyway, so I'm sitting there in line, waiting to like be able to check into this room. And I'm sitting there with my wife, and I look over, and I'm like, life's really good. I mean, here I am, this great conference, everything's going well, job's going well, kids are healthy. Finally got a night out with the wife. I'm on top of the world right now. I'm feeling really great. Don't I reach into my back left pocket and kind of feel around and go, this isn't my wallet. I don't have cash back here.
What is that? Is it my license?
I'll tell you what. I pulled this dick card out, and my wife, I pulled it out, and the look on my face must have been like, my card just broke down in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I was like just devastated. She is on the floor fucking laughing.
No, this has to be one that you found put somewhere temporarily, because I don't remember.
Right,
I would never gone into
No. It was absolutely one that I found in the basement, put in my back pocket, and then just completely forgot about it.
Forgot about it.
Again, unless I'm getting my suits dry cleaned, I don't wash them or anything. No. So went up on the hanger, didn't think about it. So I'm sitting in line, and I pull out this dude with a big freaking throbbing purple Herman, and just look at it in line. And my wife looks over and looks at my face and just drops. She is on the ground laughing, fucking hysterically. And I'm like, oh my god. So the prank.
They always thought you were crazy there.
They always
thought you were out of your mind.
Oh my god. The prank, as well as you guys played it, was played even better
by yourself.
My own actions.
By yourself.
So it was.
Well, at least you're in on it. At least you're in on this.
It was wonderful. I mean, and then the best part about it was it became a joke for the next day and a half. I told my buddies that were in this group with me about it. Pulled the car out. We passed it around. The worst part is everybody after a few drinks. I've got some pretty influential people who I'm trying to I'll tongue their asshole. I'll say it, all right?
Well, whatever.
I'm trying to kiss some ass and like really get in. They would make a decision if I get a job ahead of where I am right now.
It's playing the game,
and man. We're sitting there and everybody's drunk, and the dude who I showed it to goes, "Hey, show Sue your dick card." And I was like, "Come on, man. No. Sue will get a kick out of it. Show your dick card." Out loud. So it's like, now I look like a homo if I don't pull the dick card out and show Sue. And I'm like, just so embarrassed.
You look like a homo too when you pull the dick card out. So you're out of the way, man.
And so here I am with my tail between my legs, pulling it out of my left pocket. And there it is. I slap a dick card down on the table. And here's my fate. Like, she could go, what is the matter with you? Why would you pull something out like that? What do? I put it down and she goes, that dude has a huge penis. And I mean, at that point, everybody had some few drinks, so I thought it would be all right. But man, I took a chance.
That worked out good. That worked out good. What were you at the casino for, actually? I mean, without going into too many details about your job.
Not a
but
problem. I had a pretty good year at work, and what they do is everybody in my position, they the top 6 or whatever, they take you to the casino. You have a leadership conference. They bring some wholesalers.
They bring you in on their dime, and they
yeah. You have a nice dinner. You have cocktails, and I got to tell you,
one of those
honestly,
crazy
again, I think I had 12 bourbon Manhattans, and by the end of the night, I don't even know how the fuck I got back to my room. It was bad. Lindsay must have had 11 glasses of wine. I mean, it was a point, and I'll just tell this story real quick because it's kind of embarrassing. They had a one-man band there, and this guy was just, he was good. He played Billy Joel and shit, and he had a piano and a guitar, and it was good. He was really, really good. I mean, he held his own, played a lot of different shit. So it gets to the end of the night, and Lindsay, like she's at a fucking wedding, decides, hey, you know what? I want to hear Hey Yeah. So she goes up and she goes,
Hey Yeah or Hey Ya?
Hey Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey Yeah.
Okay.
Hey
I
Ya.
want to make sure I got the right.
Yeah. Hey Ya.
The ultimate wedding song. You know,
it is.
That is one that they don't play enough at weddings. And
I agree.
when that comes on at a wedding, my wife and I get pretty excited.
We played it at
that.
ours. It was our last song. It's
we had it at ours
too.
Yeah.
We requested at a lot of weddings, like, you know.
We did too.
We asked a lot of people,
every
hey,
wedding we go to,
you know, make this your last song. It's a good way to remember.
It's a fun one.
So anyway, she asks this guy to play it, and he's like, yeah, I know it, but I'm not going to play it. I'm playing one more song, and that's it. So Lindsay didn't like that too much. So what does she do? She goes up
when he responded to her, kind of.
Yeah. So Lindsay goes up, and he starts playing something. She goes, yeah, nobody likes that. You're going to put everybody to sleep. And he goes, you know what? I'm done then. Walks off.
Jeez.
So here we are, a room full of, I would say 20, 25 of my peers. And my wife just told the music guy that he can suck a big wang. So here we are, arguing, going back to the hotel room. It was just a fucking nightmare. I mean, it was.
Who you were arguing?
You know already. You know it was too funny too because it was almost like a wedding. You know our track record at weddings.
Yeah.
We have too many drinks. We say some shit we shouldn't say, and I end up walking off, and you guys come and try to find me.
That's a story for another night, man. That's a good story.
That is a story for another night.
We're going to that one another time.
Lindsay basically told this dude that he had a little wiener, couldn't sing, and the guy packed it in and went home. So everybody's like, you know, it wasn't too bad. Everybody was kind of leaving at that point. I was so thoroughly embarrassed. So I mean, I don't.
Nah, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is.
So anyway, I thought that was a decent story. It was just fucking like, oh, here we go. You know.
So you're there basically. Then did you win any money? Did you do any gambling? Did you
no,
get
you know
any
what? I'll be honest. I'm not really much of a gambler. So we go in, and I'll tell you, talking about being the retarded kid with the popsicle stick fucking stuck to his forehead. We walk in there, and first of all, she gets ID, and I'm like, why is this guy pulling us over going into the casino? Not pulling us over literally, but, you know, we're walking in, we go in there, and we go up to the counter, and we get change. $1 bills. You know, because, again, we're playing the penny slots. We go over there. We're trying to put. We're trying to
when
put.
It goes to casinos, man. I'm the same way.
We're trying to put $1 bills.
Table.
We're trying to put $1 bills into the fucking thing, and it keeps spitting it out. And we're like,
maybe they have no idea what a $1 bill is. They're like, where?
Anyway, so we go up and we're like, can we put $1 on a car? You know what I mean? Fucking, can we ride our tractor in your house?
Yeah,
is that
basically.
Okay? So basically, we get.
You're a hillbilly. If you bring singles to a casino, they
they give us a free $20. Like if you sign up for the Players Club there or whatever, they give us free $20. I think the $20 is for the amount of lungs that I lost from inhaling the oxygen of everybody there.
You literally lost 2 years of your life.
Yeah, realistically, casino, you owed that to me, so I'm not
going
to pop
at
a deck for
78
you.
now as opposed to 80.
So anyway, we get over there, and I mean, if you ever play the penny slots there, it's like some fucking wolf figure. You feel like you're playing Alter Beast, but some mishmash hodgepodge shit. Like, you got the head of a wolf, and you got some fucking gold coins with Caesar on it over, and you have no clue. And then all of a sudden, like, you press it for the 15th time, and a bunch of lines go around, and they're like, I won 7 cents, and you're like,
you mean like the cards you're getting or whatever, the quote unquote digital pictures you're getting, like a head, a wolf head,
I'll tell you what, man,
a crow and a fucking
it was just
a dick card.
It was ridiculous.
You win 7 cents.
The dick card would have made more sense to me at that point, to be honest with you. So anyway, we're playing this, whatever. We spent $10, and I'm like, this isn't even fucking remotely fun. This is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped and I started thinking, and I started looking around, and I started seeing people that gave up on life. I started seeing people that were sitting like this, legs over on the side. A lot of people just looking at me.
Nobody can see you, by the way.
This
is not a video podcast.
Right, yeah, no, I understand. But a lot of people, a lot of guys who probably normally wouldn't have their hair grown out, but they haven't left the casino enough to get a haircut.
Yep.
I mean, people who, honestly, Travis, I would say just went, you know what? fuck it. I just want to smoke cigarettes. I want to get drunk. And I want to play video
Well, you
poker
play the penny slots
all day long.
And you got people coming to you for drinks.
And that was
all night. That's the greatest part about that.
I
The
agree.
casino.
I agree.
It's tremendous.
But I mean, when you're there for 7 hours,
well,
and you don't know if it's light or dark outside. You don't know if it's light or dark outside. That's retarded. So all of a sudden, again, I'm sitting.
You never know though. That's the casinos. That's what they do. When we were in Vegas, it's the same. It's the same thing as real casinos.
You hate to use that stereotype but you look around and you see so many people on oxygen, smoking cigarettes, feeding these fucking machines, and you're just like, these people have given up on life. Every fourth person there is wearing a wolf jacket. I mean, they have some kind of wolf on their jacket, whether it's a parka, whether it's a flannel. I mean, let's not go with flannel.
The wolf. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
There's 4 wolves that are howling at each other.
Like that sweat, not even a hoodie. It's like a sweatshirt.
It's a fleece.
Yeah, it doesn't fit right in the arms. It's all weird.
And it's always gray.
The moon.
Gray, a little purple.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, honestly,
dude.
1 out of 4 people there, 1 out of 4 people there were rocking a wolf.
Wolf?
A wolf.
The wolf?
A wolf.
Woof woof?
What you know about rocking a wolf on your noggin?
Rocking a wolf?
Oh my god. So I'm looking around and I'm just like, man, just fucking... I was waiting for these people to turn to werewolves. The best part about it, though, was... And I'll kind of finish up because this is going long, but...
no, we're doing good. This is great. This is tremendous for our first time out, man. We're fucking crushing it.
I'm sitting there and all of a sudden, you hear on the loudspeaker, please stay tuned. We apologize for the inconvenience. All of our electronic systems have gone down. If you are playing the slots currently, they will go back up at some point. And literally, as this goes on, I'm walking to the bathroom and I hear this girl go, "Oh my god! Oh god!" And I'm just going, at what point in this person's life did they go, this is a path I'm going to choose? I mean, obviously they ate the blue pill and not the red pill. Or the red pill and not the blue pill. Something to think about.
One of the two. Let's not get into Matrix talk right now. We'll wait for Twitch to join us with this before we start getting into Matrix talk.
But just, and again, maybe it's...
I think all casino life is like that, though. When I was in Vegas, I remember... you're talking about the difference between Vegas and Buffalo is enormous. I mean, I've been to the casino a couple times up here. I've been to ones in Canada. It's no big deal. You go to Vegas, it's a completely different story. Everything is different. Just everything is different. And you see the people there, and they're the exact same way. Mm-hmm. Like, you see the wolf shirt. Like that stupid ass... It's not even a hoodie again. It's the sweatshirt. Like that my dad used to wear back in the freaking 90s.
Yeah.
With the dumb... Well, he had the wolf ones. He always had the Orangeman one.
See, the Orangeman ones... The wolf one is so significant.
Well, it's stapled into our minds. That's why, at this point, Well, actually, that brings me to a great topic that maybe we'll get to later on. But this is actually the point of the podcast where we would normally discuss who our sponsors are. Mm-hmm. But because we're a couple of assholes in the basement, we don't have any sponsors.
Yeah.
So I guess now we're sponsored by, our Apple computers. Are kind of all right.
Oh,
Speaking of Apple computers, though,
fucking
dude,
yeah.
Before we even started this,
I just want to time out on the whole thing. If anybody knows how to use a fucking Mac, if anybody has used one of these and not felt like a retard, will you do me a favor and call me? Because my wife has had this thing for about 5 years. I bought it for her birthday. It's a MacBook Pro. I spent some coin on it. This shit should not feel like I'm fucking rewiring a fucking Oldsmobile. I mean, this shit is retarded.
I bought a Mac when I went back to grad school, and because it was Mac. Macs are the last 6 years. They last beyond 6 years. They're great. They're this and that.
They're the handsome
virus free.
Computers.
You can look at porn all day, and you can get a virus. Which, by the way,
you tried deleting the porn off that though. I tried deleting the browsing history off my wife's computer.
Safari?
Fuck that.
You don't use Safari, do you? Yeah. Dude, come on. It's Bush thing.
I watched porn for 20 minutes. I spent the next 4 hours between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. trying to delete the history. I mean, I had pictures of dicks up on the computer, and not that I was looking at dicks, but you know what I mean. But I'm sitting here going, how do I delete? I almost wanted to wake my wife up and go, listen, not that I was looking at porn on your computer, but if I was, I want to get rid of the browsing history.
Every piece of equipment I have now has at least Google Chrome somewhere hidden. Like my phone, I got Google Chrome hidden. So my wife, once in a while, she'll jump my phone, she'll look at it, and she'll go, oh yeah, Safari, what were you looking at in your search history? This and that, nothing major, unbeknownst to her, everything that I look at is in Google Chrome. So if she went to that, she'd see all that shit. But going on with that, we spent a good, 45 minutes to an hour just trying to hook up 2 microphones. So we said, fuck it, and we just decided to go with the actual built-in microphone on the Apple, which isn't too bad. It's a little echoey. We apologize for any echo, but we're still working out the kinks.
We actually don't really know completely what this shit sounds like right now. So if it sounds like a hall room or a bathroom.
True. The little blue squiggles are going good, though. They're going better than they were with the microphones. Hey, since I just actually popped on Google on my phone, it popped on to a girl named Alexandra Daddario. I hope I'm not pronouncing that too incorrectly.
I'm sure she's going to get very pissed when she listens to this podcast.
She actually, you know what? I'm sure she will, because of the 12 listeners, she's definitely number 7. Anyways, she was on True Detective.
Can you show me a picture of her before I try to make a decision on her?
I don't know who. Now, see, I didn't watch True Detective. I don't have HBO. I only get it for Game of Thrones every year, which is a good discussion for another time, actually, Game of Thrones. But she was at some point naked in True Detective, topless, I think banging Woody Harrelson.
Oh my God, she's got the hugest, most voluptuous breasts of all time. She is unbelievable.
She is unbelievable.
I was watching with my wife and turned over and went, she is fucking hot. At which point, my wife kind of gave me a look. But
there's
very
few girls where I will tell my wife, I will say, listen, Chris, I love you, but this girl is just
I'll tell you what,
ridiculous.
Travis, I have never seen off this girl. Like, the whole time, I'm like, I've got a fucking semi. I'm trying to watch this show.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
Dude, I've got a popcorn fucking bucket on my lap that's all of a sudden getting lifted to God, and I didn't know why.
A bucket or like a pop secret bag? Let's go with the pop secret bag, I'd imagine, at this point. Well, let's go with the bucket. Fuck it, right?
It was a pop secret, that's for sure. It wasn't a secret when he saw her on the screen.
Definitely no secret.
Fucking boner rip.
Right, so this chick, I first see her in Percy Jackson and the bullshit of whatever the first one was.
Dude, do you see these fucking canyons though? I mean,
well,
I might as well be in Arizona.
She was at that point, I don't know how old she was. I don't want to guess. I'm guessing she was like 16 or 17, so I don't want to get into the creepiness factor of that. But she was a pretty girl. I'm like, oh, this girl's going to grow up to be something special.
Have you seen her boobs? Let me ask you that.
I've seen her a few times in things recently. She was in Hall Pass recently. I was like, wow, she grew up nice. She's in the sequel to Percy Jackson, whatever the next one's called. I haven't seen that yet. But then I just saw her the other night in New Girl. She was in an episode of New Girl. And she was wearing a tank top, and what is she, maybe 105 pounds, 110 pounds? She's a real thin frame.
70 pounds.
Real skinny. Eyes like a fucking...
Unbelievable.
Dude, look at this girl.
You know, I like the way they portray her on True Detective, too. I got to tell you, she's beautiful there. They make her very cute, very realistic in that show, which is great.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her, like, stunning. Like, she's not stunning.
Well, she's wearing a white shirt in that, okay?
I saw the picture of her topless.
Which...
Those are some of the most unbelievable...
I'm telling you right now,
I've ever seen in my life.
I went right in my kitchen and looked for a muskmelon, which I did not have because I just wanted to put it in between my mouth. I did not want to even eat it. I just wanted to...
I wanted
to close my eyes and just pretend and just go, you know what? Please, just close your eyes and just think about that. Woody Harrelson, one lucky motherfucker.
For filming that scene, I was like I said, I don't watch the show, but I saw a few pictures from that scene.
You're gonna get me way off topic.
I don't care. We're talking boobs right now. She's a knockout. Like
she is.
Eyes alone, that body with those
I'll tell you what. You think that's great when you even see her ass on top of that.
Really?
It is like. It is.
Like I said, I knew her from Percy Jackson a couple years back when my wife and I watched it, and
pubic hair?
It's almost the same. It's almost that same feeling when you like watching Harry Potter. Like I don't know if you watch Harry Potter. We were talking about this the other day.
I've seen probably 4 out of 7.
Have you seen the most recent ones?
No.
So the most recent ones to me are the only Harry Potters that matter. Like the first ones were just they were very kid centric.
I've seen up to 4.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, but maybe not so much 4, but they're very geared toward the young crowd, that 8 to 12-year-old crowd.
Would you say the last 3 were, or last one?
Yes, and you get to that last, like I think at the end of 4 was, I don't remember the name. The names.
Which one do they play Quidditch in?
I think they play Quidditch only in the 5th one. None of the other ones. They never talk about Quidditch at all. It's very minorly talked about. Dude, they fucking talk about every single goddamn movie. That is the stupidest sport on the planet. Whatever. It's their sport. But
how'd you get that scar? Play Quidditch.
Well, I guess everyone knows where we're going with this with Emma Watson. You know,
and hold on, real quick though. When you said that though, I was like, "Fuck!" I thought they played it in like every fucking one of them. I must have fucking not been paying attention the whole time.
I think in the first movie alone, it's like a whole hour of the movie is.
That's what I thought.
Quidditch, and the whole sport is meaningless if one person can catch that gold thing. That makes no sense.
God.
It'd be like watching hockey, and if one person throws a hat on the field, or on the fucking field, on the ice, then the person that catches that. Game's over.
It's basically a cross for people that are tripping on acid.
It's
you know,
whatever. It's the sport for that magic movie, which the magic is good. I don't.
Talking about Captain EO. What are you talking about?
Dude, the rules in Harry Potter.
You're right though. That little gold thing, like what? They never explained that shit. Like, I feel like maybe every time I saw Harry Potter, maybe I had a couple too many drinks. The whole time every time I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. We get to that, and I'm like, I have no clue what the fuck's going on right now. And it was the same thing every movie, though. That's cool. The effects are cool. This guy's cool. That guy's cool. I like this. This is good. I don't fucking know what's going on.
I love them. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Harry Potters. The first 2 or 3 I really don't enjoy. ABC Family plays them nonstop. Like, they have Harry Potter weekends. I think every other weekend they have Harry Potter going on. And if they play the first 3, I'm like, these are just not for me. They're too young. But the last couple are great. We're getting off topic here. The whole point was the whole Emma Watson thing. Emma Watson now is, 21, 22, 23, right around that area?
Yeah,
she's a
20,
gorgeous girl.
Right.
Like, she's beautiful. And you look back at when she was young, and you feel weird. Because she looks the same. I mean, she's older looking, but she looks the same. And you look back at those old Harry Potters, and you go, am I an old, creepy man? Am I a 30-year-old man, creepy,
you know who I
digging on some chick that's 14 years old? That's weird.
I do that
weird,
with Lindsay,
but she's not 14 anymore. She's 21. Right. She's beautiful. But in your mind, she's still her mind.
With
weird.
her more so than I think a lot of people, she does. I mean, you can see her. She looks pretty much the same. Obviously,
she does.
Sure.
That's what drives me. And it's the same thing with that Alexandra Daddario girl.
You look at a lot of other girls.
The same from Percy Jackson.
The girl in Two Broke Girls. The one girl with the big torpedo tits. What's her name?
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings, yes.
Right?
Okay. She was in
40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Which to me is one of the most underrated comedies of the past 10 years or so. I do
like
funny.
it. I do like it. I do like it a lot. I'll
That's
go as far as to say I like it a lot. And that's
like it a lot
because I don't like a lot of stuff.
I think it's very funny. I can't stand that girl. I can't stand that show. That show's terrible. I'm sorry.
If you see a picture of her tits, though, they are disgusting.
Are they?
You know what they look like? You
I can picture them. I'm picturing.
You've played Angry Birds, right? You know the yellow guy who is triangled, who flies real quick when you hit the screen.
So you hit the screen and he dives real fast, whatever direction he's going in.
Her tits look like that. So her
they go up, they arc up, and then all of a sudden they go.
They basically look like triangle torpedoes.
Vey.
And I'm just saying, and it's too bad because you spend every time you've seen that girl, you spend the whole time going, she's all right, she's not that funny. I bet she's got great tits.
Yeah,
I bet she's got great tits. But the thing
they look nice outside of.
They do. But man, you Google those things, and her nipples look like retarded ice cream cones.
Yeah,
I mean the top of them. You know what it looks like? You know how you can get that? What is this stuff? The melt stuff, like on top. It looks like strawberry melt shit on the boobs.
Okay.
It looks fucking weird. Yeah, can you cover me for 2 minutes while I pee and solo yourself?
You want me to solo myself while you go to the bed? Are you going to go pee in the sub pump, actually, while we're doing this?
I will.
So, again, I guess I'm going to go on solo here for a few minutes. We were talking about Alexandra Daddario, in case you blacked out for a while there while we were talking about Emma Watson and some underage crushes. Emma Watson is no longer underage, by the way. But yeah, man, I was surprised when it came to that girl. Like I said, with the whole Percy Jackson thing, I really didn't think she was. I was caught off guard. I'll say that much. But let's move on from boob talk and go into something a little more serious, like penis talk.
Penis talk.
Penis talk.
All right.
This chocolate stout from Brooklyn it's delicious. It really is. I'm not much of a stout kind of guy. It's really heavy stout, It's one of those,
the worst thing with that too is it's actually brand new. It's 2013-14. So
no, this is. Yeah, I've had it before. Then who's made the chocolate stout before then?
No. They've always made
chocolate bar.
No.
But it's still Brooklyn. Okay,
it's still Brooklyn. They make it every year. I'm just saying that's their.
This is this year's.
Usually, whenever we have it, usually it's like a year and a half or 2 years.
I see what you're saying. I apologize. Okay.
Because it's so high in alcohol, it ages well, and really all the malts in it meld together. No, dude, you definitely have had that before. I wasn't saying.
No.
I just made that. How the fuck have you had it, huh? Came out last week.
I've had 2 of these, and I'm feeling them big time right now at this point. This is fun. This is good. This is really good. You know,
one thing I did want to talk about.
Let's do it.
It's funny when we kind of put together this podcast and the general idea on what we were going to do and the way we were going to do it. We had certain.
This is 8 years in the making. I think when we first met, we were talking about doing this, and it was like, oh, who's buying the microphone?
We were playing Call of Duty, and we were like, you know what I mean? We're cool. We do the fucking podcast, and we talk about video games and fucking fingering chicks and shit. Anyway, no, but honestly though, we've been talking about doing this for a while, and we always talked about, what things were off limits. Things we didn't want to talk about. Religion, each other's moms, except for his toots.
Toots' mom's fine.
Yeah.
My mom's off, your mom's off.
Just getting too personal with anything.
Toots' mom's good, though. By the
one
way,
thing,
I gotta get out of here pretty soon to get over to her house, but
right?
you know what I'm saying?
I'll be right there. Anyway, so the one thing we kind of talked about was politics and not that this is even going that route, but just wanted to kind of set the standard for what we were going to do. So if you wanted to write into us or tweet us at,
I don't even know what our email is. We have a producer who couldn't join us tonight. He's a little bit under the weather, apparently.
I don't know what your email is, but my email is hugedick@defconflannel.com. So
we actually have defconflannel.com now set up, huh? Is that I think we're still working on a Gmail account.
That's right.
We do have an email account, and we do have all this stuff coming out. Obviously, people listening to this right now are our wives, maybe a handful of friends, maybe 2 or 3 of you guys out there. We're really hoping maybe, to develop this into a Buffalo type thing, and hopefully maybe grow it. If not, this is a hobby we're going to do. Bring you guys some comedy, hopefully. Can
I put you on the spot? Does this say 15 minutes right here?
It does say 15 minutes.
That's how long we were in when you wrote
that. But that was 25 minutes ago. We were actually 40 minutes into our first podcast right now.
Because I'll tell you what, I'm like...
Here's the question now.
12 M&Ms, I know. Yeah,
here's the question. When we save this MP3 file, however this works, again, our producer's not here, and we don't know what the fuck's going on. But when we save this file, are you going to throw it on your phone and listen to it? Or email it to yourself and listen to it at work or in the car?
Dude, it's on a Mac. I don't know how the fuck to do that. Are you kidding me? I've got a better chance and inserting my dick into the USB and carrying it out on
confusing. That. I'm glad we kind of circled back to this because I wanted to mention that, 6 years ago I bought one too for grad school. And I could do my basic Microsoft Word programs, which I buy a Mac to fucking use Microsoft Word programs.
Right,
I don't understand, whatever. But I have no idea how to use your computer. Like, this thing is identical to what I used, but when we're going through this tutorial on Google, trying to figure out how to set up our damn microphones, and it's telling me go to this, go to that, I'm going, I have no idea where any of this stuff, this is so hard for me to use. Now, I know people love Apple, especially when it comes to artistic stuff, like when it comes to podcasts and video casts and
making different art on your computer
and doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. That Apple is the computer to use for that. I don't fucking understand.
I bought it because...
I'm a Windows guy because of work.
Right.
I use Windows all the time. Right. And you come to this and...
You look at your
mouse pad on this laptop has no buttons.
Not only that, but you click on the wrong spot and fucking the fire company shows up. I mean, it's retarded.
And plus, it's your wife, so she's got her own shortcut keys going on. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on right now.
And that's the problem. I get so used to it. Even when I was little, I would nerd out. I had, an HP... I had a Commodore 64. Yeah, I mean, just everything back in the day.
You're dating yourself.
Right. I mean, they used to have BBS's, bulletin board systems, where you could call in on your dial-up. Yep. I actually had my own. I mean, so I got pretty nerdy. Not toots nerdy about shit, but I got pretty nerdy. So, I could do a lot of stuff. And I felt always competent as far as hey, when I'm at work, hey, I don't know how to do this, or I'm trying to do this in a spreadsheet. And I know you're really good with spreadsheets. Me, not so much, but man... I feel like I could take
I've gotten decent. And when you look at VBA and crap like that, that's over my head.
The VMAs? Is that what you're talking about?
VMA?
Let's talk about that.
I don't want to talk about the VMAs. Let's not talk about the VMAs at all.
But I feel like I could, for the most part, take a computer apart, put a hard drive in there.
You'll be fine.
You're right. If I look at it the wrong way, it turns off and on. It tells me there's some kind of fucking error code. And I'm like,
dude,
you gotta be fucking
Apple's
kidding me.
Crazy. I mean, we can talk about Apple right now.
Again, real quick, though. iPhones. I mean, you got iPhones. I love it for the simplicity. I love it because I've got some apps I can fucking slap my fingers on and I know what the fuck's going on. I get around this thing and I get uncomfortable like a hot chick. I get around this thing and I feel like it's my first time. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
She takes her shirt off and you're like, where's the application button here? She takes it off the skirt, and you're like, where the fuck are the preferences?
You've already nutted your pants. You don't even know what the fuck's going on.
How do I change the volume?
You're double-clicking the right side of the mouse pad, and there's applications open you've never seen in your life.
It's a laptop, too, and laptops, they try to make... I don't have a laptop anymore, because my Apple, by the way, which I spent $1,100 on, these things last longer, but I have to admit, the porn is tremendous. You can watch porn. I don't feel like I get... It's not better porn. It's the same porn. But I don't feel like... God bless you. I don't feel like I get the same... that's going to come in loud. Look, this blue squeak is exploded right now in here.
I apologize.
Don't worry about it. The virus protection, not even protection, but I don't think viruses
are made... you don't get viruses.
No, it's ridiculous. I don't have,
It's like the ultimate computer condom.
It's ridiculous. I throw Google Chrome on there, and I can watch porn, no problem. But after 6 years, it just stopped working. Or 5 years, whatever it is. It just stopped working. It won't turn on. Why? I spend all this extra money.
They're like wives, you know. They're working fine, and then all of a sudden
they just stop. They have a kid.
You're doing the thing you're normally doing, and all of a sudden it just doesn't respond to you the way it used to. You know what I mean? And you're putting your dick in the USB port. It's like
and it
error report. You know, so.
But yeah, I mean, 6 years, 5 years, whatever the heck it is, and it doesn't work. I mean, I spent $1,100 for a regular PC laptop like a Hewlett Packard or a Dell or whatever. Half the cost would last me just as long.
Well, and
why am I getting that?
I was like, we gotta have the MacBook Pro. Like my wife is using the
I don't
Pro.
have a Pro. Mine's the Bush League.
Like my wife's like, well, this MacBook's good. Like when I brought it to her for her birthday 5 years ago, she was like, this MacBook's good. Where the fuck's the Pro out of it?
You probably this is so shitty, this computer, you didn't even get a blowjob about that birthday gift, did you? Here's a MacBook Pro for you. And she went, all right.
I haven't gotten a blowjob since then, so what are you talking about? That birthday. How about the 14 in between there?
The best part about talking about our wives giving us blowjobs, or I should say not giving us blowjobs at this point, is that we are 45 minutes into this podcast, and there's no way they made it past minute 7. Right? They said, oh, we'll listen because we love you. And then all of a sudden, it's like oh, yeah, the
it's like your old teacher reading that book report that you know, she's just like, I'll give you a B+. And you're like, all right. And,
sounds good.
And you are not even reading this, are you?
Yeah. You throw random words in there just to see what they did. It's funny you mentioned that. We, when I was in grad school, it's kind of a funny story. When I was in grad school, grad school isn't super hard. Especially the program I was in was very based toward people that are already working full time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel like it was super difficult. It was just very time consuming. Okay. And we had a lot of group projects. And I remember we had a group essay of some kind. I don't remember the essay type.
Was he loco? I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I remember this group I had sucked, and nobody was doing great work, and at that point, that's me. I'm the one who was supposed to be kind of fucking coasting here. What's going on?
That's not your
I'm
DNA,
the coaster.
Though, dude. Come on.
I don't know, whatever. But so I write this essay up, or I get the essay that's been written. We're putting our pieces together because it's a group thing, and I just started throwing random words and stupid sentences in this essay just to see who's reading this when I send it out, right? And I don't remember the words, and if I went back, I can maybe find them for you, and maybe bring it back to our podcast.
Did you use microcosm by chance?
That's too big of a word. I can't go beyond 6 or 7 letters. But I don't remember what I said, but I had a few sentences in there that were just totally off-the-wall sentences, and not a single person commented. Oh, looks great. I say it was perfect. This and that. Yep. It just goes to show you what that's all about. No one gives a shit at that point.
No one gives a shit.
And I don't know what the whole point of this story was, but it just kind of reminded me of that. It's just kind of funny how that works.
Bunch of people in the Coast Guard just coasting.
Just coasting. Just coasting. Coast Guard. Are we gonna go Coast Guard here? Are we gonna talk about the plane in Malaysia here, off the coast of wherever the fuck it is?
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you did,
but we're here, so let's talk about the real life episode of Lost that apparently is going on.
Here's the thing with this. I mean, I don't know how other nations run their shit, but you hear about how the United States runs their shit.
I don't get how a plane.
If a plane is off a cunt's hair in the wrong direction, that shit is on CNN in half a second. A plane.
If my phone is 15 feet away from me,
if your phone is on in the plane, it's on CNN.
Jesus
fucking Travis has his phone on in the fucking plane. Shit starts sinking. No, but realistically, I mean, you look at the way things are safeguarded. And obviously, a lot of it's because of 9/11. But you look at the way flights are safeguarded. What the fuck does that shit just disappear?
I don't understand.
Trust me, I just try to disappear on my wife all the time. I can't do that. How the fuck does something that's, the quarter of a mile long disappear? I mean, it's just...
It's a big plane, too. I'm not a big news guy. I don't follow the news a lot. It depresses me. But I get the gist of it. I don't know the details. What kind of... Is it a huge plane?
Yeah, I mean, what I heard yesterday was it was a big dick plane.
That's not... Are we talking dick card big plane here? Or are we talking...
Is it a Boeing 747?
From what I get out of it, it's a pretty decent sized plane. But regardless, even if these pilots, from what I've heard last, the pilots are quote unquote suicidal. Is that still kind of relevant to what's going on with this news? I don't even know.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Last time I heard anything was.
Is it terrible that we just? I hate saying that I don't care about these 200 people that are missing. But
what was it? 3 Americans?
3 was it? Not even going with the nationality.
I hate anybody who's not American. No, I'm just joking.
It's terrible. I
mean, you look at this though. I mean, you look at so many news stories, and like you just said though, I mean, that's the reason why you don't watch some of the shit because it's so depressing.
It's depressing.
I will never forget. I made a point of this, and the one time I am watching the news with my wife, and I said, you realize why we never watch the news? It's so fucking depressing. Mm-hmm. And they go, we have just found a dog over on so and so street, in rough condition, happy to be alive, and they cut. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. 10 minutes later, and breaking news right now: the dog we have found has passed away. And I was like, I'm fucking done with news. Honestly, this was about 4 years ago, and I just went. That sums up exactly what news is. You never watch the news, and there's the Bills staying in Buffalo, or there's everything's wonderful, or they never talk about the good things. It's
no. Well,
shit is going so
sell.
fucking wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
People, they zone in on negative, and oh shit, what's going on? What's gotta happen? Good doesn't sell. You
Right.
need to. These stations like MSNBC and CNN, these 24-hour news stations, they can't function without fear.
It's drama.
It's
drama
It's
too.
just like 2020 and all those other shows that come on at 8 o'clock at night or whatever the hell time they come on, where they throw the commercial, are you drinking water from your tap? There's 75 poisons.
Fucking AIDS in your water.
There's AIDS in my water, dude. I got AIDS
I
from my
want to
water.
see some dude who's 92 years old fucking petting his puppy and going out the way he wants to go. That's a good fucking feel-good story. I don't want to see some, there's fucking 14
I'm just
killings.
picturing him. I'm just picturing 9-year-old man laying there, just stroking his fucking poodle or some shit, or some Shih Tzu or something.
It's been a good life. My wife with me by my side.
And you got some hot little reporter asking him how he feels about his morning BM, and he's like, I just can't get better than this, man. I'm telling you,
Sir, you still getting your dick up?
No. That's basically yeah.
I mean, honestly though, it really is at the point where it's so depressing that again, you're asking for it if you turn the news on. You're asking to be put in a bad mood.
I can't do it. It's all over Yahoo when I'm at work, and I have my moments where I get 10-15 minutes or so to jump on the internet and read some crap. It's all over. It's everywhere. It's Yahoo. It's Fox News. It's CNN. It's everything. When we have a TV where I work, right in front of my row of cubicles, is a television constantly plastered on one of those stations. It's the guy that kind of runs it, one of my bosses. He loves depressing shit, and it's always about Bitcoin dropping, or how King the other day, the makers of Candy Crush,
right?
They went public or whatever, and their stock is just plummeting, and people they talk about it, about how crazy it is and this and that, but they fucking love the fact that this company's failing. They love it.
Right.
You can just see in their eyes that these people, it's whatever. I don't like that shit.
It's never a story when anybody succeeds. I mean,
no,
you look at Facebook
who
coming
cares?
out, not again to get.
Well, Facebook, I don't know how they're doing, but for a while there, Facebook was going back up again. Netflix is another one. Netflix is another one that 2-3 years ago, kicking myself. I would love to have invested in Netflix 2 years ago. I can't give you details. Top of my head, I don't know. But they've gone from 50, 60, 70 range up to the hundreds range, 200-something range.
Right.
In 2-3 years. Now, I remember reading a report years ago saying how Netflix was going to fail. And I never imagined that company doing what they did, going with original programming, like House of Cards.
And you thought about Blockbuster. I mean, you thought about Blockbuster, and you looked at, even though it was a different format of the way they sold it, you looked at that as being kind of the same line. And Blockbuster, they went from being the porn kings of the world to being fucking
the
just
back room.
dropped.
Well, the back room. I always wondered what the back room was. As a little kid, you always wondered what it was.
Real quick Blockbuster story. I had an Uncle Vince who was out in California who died, and not that that's the fucking story. Yeah, just to go along with the news of depression and shit. One time, I would say it was about 23 years ago, walked into Blockbuster. He was out here visiting from California, and we're looking for videos, and there he is over in the adult section, looking at some tits, and they only show the tits in the back of the
correct, yep.
So he's over there.
I used, as a kid, I used to sneak over to those sections.
Did you?
As best as I could. Now they got them all in several rooms. Blockbuster's gone, but the local companies around here, they
button down after time. But
oh yeah,
I'll never forget coming around that corner. Uncle Vince, what are you looking at? Is that something we can all watch? And there he is, fucking tits and ass on the cover. Nothing. Something Uncle Vince is gonna watch later on
by himself.
To this day, I'll never forget that conversation.
You'd think at this point. that kind of stuff would be less, hidden, just because of the access we have available over the internet. I mean, I remember...
It's still pretty taboo publicly, though.
I don't get why. I have a couple kids I used to babysit for when I was younger.
Story's about to get real fucking
I'm
weird.
not going to go into... Yeah. It's going to get real creepy here. We were doing this stuff now. But they were young. We babysat when they were 8 to 12, somewhere in that range. And all of a sudden they turned 16, 17, and I was talking to them, and they're telling me about stuff that I don't even know. Mm-hmm. Like websites I should check out. I'm like, Wait, what?
Yeah.
They might have even told me about the hub. I mean, the hub is tremendous,
Right.
For any kind of pornography, but these are 16-year-old kids telling a 26-year-old guy about the hub that I had no idea about, or maybe it wasn't that website, but it was something similar. One of my go-to top 3 or 4 that I hit up, but it's just amazing to me how easy it is for kids nowadays. I mean, you look back when you were going to jerk off back in the day, when you were 14, 15, you were starting to learn how to do that. When your mom got the Pennies catalog or the Bonton catalog or whoever at that point was around, I don't even remember, when that came in and you flipped to the middle of that book and you got like 2 or 3 pages of chicks and bras, that was like, holy shit, dude, that was jackpot. And then
Was it though?
I thought so. Listen, when I was that age, it was.
You were born in 72, dude?
I was born in the 40s. No, that was huge.
Really?
Back in like what, 98, 99?
Holy shit.
I mean, the internet was around, but my buddy that had the internet, it was all dial-up. And it was
So,
at that point, it was, for me at least, Jay McCarthy. And you do a
right.
search or whatever, AOL, whatever the fuck it was. You do a search and you get the photo and it slowly came down and you just were like, holy shit, boobs.
Yeah.
But whatever, you can't jerk off. Whatever, it takes too long to jerk off to multiple pictures. At that point, it was just like, give me the catalog. I can picture multiple girls.
Cindy Crawford, that picture of her dude, like that coming in and waiting like fucking 8 minutes, and by then, I mean, I was like 12 years old, and I'm like.
Yeah.
8 minutes, it's like, bit by bit, and you see it coming in, and it's like somebody's putting a puzzle together. Some old retarded man's putting a puzzle together as you see it. But
and even the progression through the aughts, as they call them, the 2000s, when you could download pictures, when I got cable internet, when it went from dial-up to cable, it was like, holy cow, these pictures are crazy, and you had women like, top of my head, Chrissy M was a huge one back in the day. It was all pictures. If I see a picture of a naked chick, I don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care. What listen, whatever. She's hot. Yeah. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not gonna jerk off to that. It has to be a video.
Yeah.
And it has to be streaming.
Yeah.
And then 3-4 years ago, it was those 10-second goddamn videos. There was like 3 of them on a website, and they were 10 seconds each, and you had to fucking like put them together and quickly back out and just replay them while you're trying to bust a nut at the end there, and it was awful. Now you go to the hub or any of these other websites. They're fucking like hour and a half long videos.
Like you're done and you're still
I'm fast forwarding. This is terrible.
I don't really want to watch this anymore. Like I'm just trying to break this off. I'm gonna keep out for another minute, see if something cool happens, see if some action breaks in. Dude,
as soon as you're done. For me, as soon as I break it off, as soon as I dirty up my tissue, as you will, I can't look at it.
Yeah,
it disgusts me.
Oh, I do agree, but every now and again I catch myself going,
man. Well, you gotta see. Okay, I'll give you. There's a window, and there is a window. That window.
It goes from sexy to really fake. Like, oh, I'm just so glad you just blew it all over my lips, and all of a sudden you're like, really?
This is great. This is awesome. And then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
You blow it, and then it's like she's like, jam it in my throat. I want to suck your cock. It's just like, oh my god.
Yes. Yeah.
What did I just do? What did I just? What is wrong with me? And my wife's upstairs. She's asleep. I could at least try. But no, here I am watching this. But when you're in the moment, it is what it is. It's just funny to me how time has progressed with that whole situation.
Right. I do agree.
We have gotten off topic. I have no idea. We were talking about the plane in Malaysia. Somehow we got back to porn. I have a feeling we're gonna get to porn a whole heck of a lot when we're talking about this.
I agree, and I think that's a very sound topic.
But back to this plane in Malaysia. Is it me, or I said it earlier? But is this Lost? I mean, honestly, this is the weirdest story. How do a plane, even if these quote unquote suicidal pilots, right? They controlled everything, that they were depressed or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the story's at this point anymore. If they can turn off the GPS, the tracking system, whatever they have, why isn't there at some point a backup system? You look back to 9/11.
Well, the black box is supposed to be that system they can't mess with.
Is there a system in there? So why is it not working? Like, why can't they find it?
They can't find it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I don't think I think the black box is internal. I don't think it gives off an external system.
Okay.
Or an external signal. So I think it is. No matter what, you cannot get to that, and it records everything that's going on. But at the same time, though, again, if they're smart enough to turn everything off and they've gone through,
but that doesn't it makes zero sense to me. After 9/11.
But everybody has their own internal systems that they monitor where that physically is. Almost on a big grid. Like, here's the plane, you know.
But after the Twin Tower attacks, you have to imagine that in order to prevent people, whether it's terrorists or just some random retard, going into the cockpit and screwing things up, there has to be some system of guidance or whatever that isn't accessible for a pilot or for a terrorist or for someone, you know, taking the plane hostage. Now, obviously, at this point, I can't imagine terrorists taking a plane over, right? There's no way that's going to happen again. Humans at this point, adults, they know what happens because of 9/11, right? They know that if they just kind of sit there and assume that they're being hijacked, that it's more than just being hijacked, that they're going to die, that they're going to do something about it. But even if this is the case, even if a terrorist gets into the cockpit, takes over, don't you think these planes at this point after 9/11 have some sort of
remote
guidance, something to run? Yeah, something.
And take over.
I just don't understand how a plane carrying that many people, or even if it's just 20 people on a fucking puddle jumper, how do they not have some sort of system that they can hit?
See, I
don't understand.
Especially in fringe third world countries, I don't think that they do.
Maybe that's what it is, because we're talking about, it's Malaysia. So when we're talking about...
You look at planes that you would have took maybe 12 years ago, are probably now the technology that they're using just because of budget. Yeah, just because of budget. I mean, with that being the case, you know, you look at that technology, and they're probably just getting there now just because of budget reasons. But even still, you know, I don't know. I just don't really think that they have the ability to do that, you know, which is kind of sad and scary at the same time. But, you know, for them to take that plane and go anywhere else, you know, it's very odd. It's very odd. That's all I really think about it. I mean, you think about that just completely disappearing into nowhere, and the fact that that's not tracked somewhere, or, I mean, just thinking about realistically, where could that have gone? They would have flown it into the ocean. They would have found it. I mean, they've had different groups out looking for it out of the ocean. So if they would have took it somewhere and hijacked it, I mean, is this fucking Con Air? Because this sounds a lot like Con Air, and this feels a lot like Con Air. And if I found out Nicolas Cage was on the plane, I'm very alright with that. I'm just going to say that. It sounds terrible. But if Nicolas Cage was on the plane, I'm very alright with it. It's all of a sudden an alright hijacking. But if he wasn't on the plane, it's some weird shit. And it's some Lost shit. I mean, you go to Lost, and, you know, not even to get into that whole dialect of, hey, was it real? Were they really dead the whole time? Fuck that. I mean, just at the end of the day, it was a great show, and nobody knows where the fuck the plane was. So that's kind of all there is to it. You know, but just looking at it, it's going on like 3 weeks now, and it's always like, you look at it and go, when the fuck are they going to find out what happened to the plane? Like, as time goes on, you're just waiting for them to go, oh yeah, we found the plane. It was here. And then you're like, oh yeah, why didn't you guys fucking look there? It's been there the whole time, you know? Like, fucking behind the pyramids or some shit. It's just...
To me, this plane has split into two pieces on two separate ends of some island somewhere, and on this island, it's some fucking smoke monsters and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Did
the Lost plane split in two completely different sections?
I'm sure if we have any listeners at this point, I don't even know if anybody's sticking around this long.
I'm not listening.
But if we have people that are Lost fans that are listening, they're probably going to say, "You fucking idiots!" I have no idea. I don't remember. It did split in two at one point.
Split in two as it crashed, but it all landed pretty much in the same thing.
They're all on the same island.
Remember the dude? Like the biggest thing I remember about that first season is the dude who's yelling, "You guys got to get out of here! You got to get!"
And then just sucks him up.
Yeah.
Dude, that first
dude
season
fucking deserved it.
He was a douche. That first season was so good. The second season was good. I don't know. I was never a huge Lost fan beyond season 2. I got back into it toward the end there, just to kind of see how it all wrapped up. And
the biggest thing for me were not the pits, the hatch.
The hatch. Yeah,
like, it was, out of any show I've ever watched, it's the biggest, like, I gotta know what the fuck's down there.
Yeah,
you know,
and
I think when season 2, I believe it was, ended when they were like looking to see what was down there, going into season 3. I think for like 8 months, I held my dick and just wanted to know. I mean, I look at so many shows that have captivated me and just held my attention. What the fuck was going on with that hatch was like, I mean, I almost called my grandma. I was like, Grandma, do you know anything about this hatch?
Did you call your grandma?
And if you do, if you could just tell me, I'll come over and fucking rake the shit out of your leaves this fall. I swear to God. But it was just like, I don't know what it was, but the hatch was so captivating. The rest of the show was damn good, but I had to know. I wanted to put my dick right into that
wanted
hatch.
to know, and I love Desmond. I love Desmond as a character.
Didn't love Desmond?
Dude, it was great.
And they weren't afraid to kill off characters in that, which I always think is a strong point of the show.
Oh, hands down. And Ian Somerhalder was kind of where I guess you're going with that, right? With the mid season one when he died.
Right.
It was a shock to me because that was the first show that I remember watching. You know, as a teen to an adult, when you start getting to that age, you know, you
reading Judy Blume books.
You're reading Judy Blume, Cam Jensen, stuff like that, and you get to Goosebumps, right? And you get to a point where all of a sudden shows are more than just Will and Grace and Friends and Seinfeld and stuff like that. It's and you know, Muppet Babies.
Right.
It's about actual people dying. And that was the first. I remember the first show I went, oh my God, this person died in a TV show. It's crazy. That's never happened. Now I can't go an episode of Walking Dead or two without. If someone doesn't die in Walking Dead, then I'm like, this is stupid as fuck. You know, I need to see someone die.
Right. Right.
We could have a whole hour and a half discussion about Walking Dead.
I think Walking Dead's going to be a little bit too in depth for our conversation tonight, but
we're winding down here. But at some point we will for sure. But going back to Lost, the ending to me was convoluted. It was, I don't know. I just, looking back on it, it was a good show, but I don't never watch it again. I'll be happy with not watching it.
It was so individually interpretational.
Yeah,
I think, honestly,
which is good. Which was a good. It was a very good feature.
It was very cool because it allowed you to really go, "Hey, I think this is what happened," and nobody could go.
And then your buddy goes, "No, this is what happened." No. And his buddy goes, "No, this is what happened." It was
really the way you took it. Was it fucking weird and out there? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But was it fucking weird and out there enough that you could go, "This is the way I think about it," and I'm gonna believe that? Absolutely. And I honestly, a lot of people had a problem with the way Lost ended. And again, not to get too in depth into the content of it, but I loved it. And I went, you know what?
It was a beautiful ending. It was a very heartfelt ending.
And I watched it with you. Actually,
we were here. Me and Chris came over, right?
We watched it with you guys, and
that was kind of one of the first times you and I hung out. Really, I think.
I agree.
4 or 5 years ago or so, right when our friendship kind of started to blossom.
Oh, you said blossom.
Blossom.
Anyway, but just watching that and going, like it ended, and you went, I don't know the fucking slightest clue what just went on. I'm pretty alright with it, and I'm okay now.
It was a very nice ending. The whole season to me, a lot went on. It is what it is.
You know what they're overplaying now is who was that dude who was like the bad dude out of it? The dude with glasses, Ben.
The guy on
he's in everybody's mom's dick hole right now. Like
he's on that show on CBS right now. What's that show?
He's been in 14 shows.
Person of Interest, right? Person of Interest.
Oh my God! I get up in the morning and I look and he's in my bathtub.
He's everywhere. Well, good for him. He made a little career out of a bullshit parachute character. What was he like? He parachuted, quote unquote, parachuted
he should have died, and he fucking has all these plans.
Turns out he was the leader of the others, and
man, what a bad motherfucker though. I mean, he played everybody. You're gonna play somebody, that's the way you play somebody.
He did.
Ben did.
He did. I don't know. That guy to me.
I'm gonna hit the sump pump real quick.
You're gonna sub pump it up. That's actually not a bad time to segue it to something else then.
Yeah, what's else?
Do you want to stick with TV shows for a little while? Do you want to go into? Oh, you know what we can actually do? You know what I want to talk about real quick with you?
What's that?
I want to talk about this TMNT trailer. For those of you who are not hip to TMNT, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Obviously, you know them. But a 30-second teaser was just released this past week when we are recording this podcast. Basically, it wasn't enough for anything, but to just kind of get our whistles a little wet. I'm real excited to see what's going on with a real trailer, not just 36 seconds of zoom-ins on Megan Fox's lips.
You want half of this?
And yeah, I'll split that with you.
Let me tell you the way I feel about it, especially with Megan Fox. I'll just give you my quick 2 cents.
Let's do it.
April O'Neil, first and foremost,
is a redhead.
Has to be a natural redhead.
Yeah, that's a little bothersome.
The way I feel about redheads, I love redheads. So for me, that's the one thing you got to keep true. The Ninja Turtles all have to be retarded, okay? And April O'Neil has to be redhead. And Splinter's got to be kind of retarded too, okay?
I forgot who's playing Splinter. I just saw the other day, top of my head. I don't know now. I'm looking at
the wrestler Rob Van Dam is playing Splinter.
It's who?
Rob Van Dam.
Bullshit. No, it's an actual maybe the voice I'm thinking of.
Morgan Freeman's voice. Rob
is that what it is?
Guy?
It's Morgan Freeman? Yeah, that's what it is. Go
ahead. So anyway, here's who I think should play April O'Neil.
Go for it.
Faye Reagan.
I was just gonna say Faye Reagan, son of a bitch. That's the first. The first
dude,
redhead
can you
I
see
thought
that?
of.
Like, hey, I know you guys are gearing up right here. What do you want on your pizza? Some of these pepperonis?
Dude,
come on.
I knew as soon as you said that.
Faye Reagan.
She went to my mind right away.
The glasses she wears in some of those porn videos, dude.
Oh my!
How is that not?
For those
April
of you who
O'Neil?
don't know who Faye Reagan is, yes, she's a porn star.
Can you see her going?
She's the definition of a ginger porn star. She's very redhead, a lot of freckles.
Turtles in a half shell.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a little more detail on this movie real quick.
Oh.
But
That's too fucking
Did
perfect.
you see the animated one, TMNT, a few years ago? Did you happen to see that one?
No. Was it actually a full movie?
Yeah. It was in the theater and everything. I went with my my buddy and his son, and I went simply because of his
Faye
son.
Reagan? Oh,
no,
son.
because of his son. Not because I wanted to see Turtles and Turtles. But the two of us walked out of there. This is a guy who's actually it's Jim, so he's a couple years older than we are. Well, he's about your age actually, and
He's a couple years older.
he's a couple years older than you are, and I forget the age difference.
I think he's like 37 or 38.
Is he around there? You old men, man. And
I know, right?
30 in May for me,
He's pretty
dude.
great. He's pretty great.
30
in May,
comes with the
30
job. I think it comes with the job.
30 in April for Lindsay, so she's a month older than you.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is she? Well, that's what it is, man. You like the young
That's
girls.
what it is.
I want young too. But anyway, so we walked out of there, the two of us, and he's got like a 10-year-old kid at that point. And I remember he loved it. His son loved it. He thought it's great. But me and Jim walked out there. We're like, dude, that was amazing.
Really? Yeah.
We loved the Turtles growing up and this and that. But yeah, here we go. So who's Splinter? Danny Woodburn.
Danny Woodhead, the running back from
Danny
fucking New
Woodhead
England?
from New England is playing. The dude can do everything, man. He's
Woodhead.
crafty. I don't know this guy. at all.
5'4", blazing speed.
Oh no! Splinter. Holy shit! You know who he is?
Oh yeah, Splinter the rat. He's a rat.
He's Mickey from Seinfeld. The midget.
Not a big Seinfeld dude.
Oh, you're not,
So,
dude.
you mean
Mickey.
Willow?
Mickey? No. That's not Willow. No.
You mean
So you know-
Daenerys Targaryen?
No, and it's not
No?
Tyrion Lannister either.
That dude?
No, it's not him either.
Daenerys Targaryen? You know, like I would just start putting names together.
Dude,
from the
it
show?
doesn't make a difference. Everyone exactly knows who you're talking about at that point with that show.
Wait, you talking about Daenerys Targaryen?
No, but Danny Woodburn. So, Mickey, who was Kramer's kind of buddy, who's an actor in Seinfeld.
Newman?
He was a little shorter than Newman. But anyways, he's playing it must be the voices, but maybe not. Maybe he's the body double too. I don't know. Anyways, I saw this trailer. Well, when this was announced, a year ago, it was Michael Bay said something about it being aliens, right? Remember? You kind of remember that? You remember hearing about that?
Not at all.
He was saying that it wasn't going to be Turtles. It was going to be kind of like an alien type thing. I remember just
Like Krang's alien,
yeah,
right?
just the backlash and how much everyone was like, oh my god, this Michael Bay, he's gonna fucking ruin.
He's gotta, yeah, you're right.
He's
He
gonna
tries to
ruin
put his own
Turtles.
ridiculous
He
spin on
does.
everything.
He definitely does. But what he does better than any other director that I know of is he makes a shitty movie amazingly fun. Like Transformers 1, come on, I like it a lot. I think it's clearly the best of the three to me at least. It's a shitty. It's a shitty movie, but it's so
and you know how he does it?
entertaining.
He has action coming out the
Oh
wazoo.
my god!
Like you're on the toilet and shit's exploding.
Dude,
I mean, he has shit exploding.
He basically, yeah. I mean, he could film someone taking a crap, and it would be the most amazing crap I've ever seen.
I'm telling you right now.
He turned that franchise that I loved as a kid into complete garbage, but garbage that made hundreds of millions of dollars. And at this point, if it's on FX, I fucking turn that shit on, and I can't turn it off. It's terrible, but it's so goddamn entertaining that I can't stop watching it.
What has happened to Shia LaBeouf?
I don't even want to talk about that dude. That dude. Did you see him showing up with the bags on his face?
That's what I mean.
I don't want to be famous anymore, or whatever it said.
To me, he went from being a great up and
cool
coming
dude,
actor
a cool dude.
to a complete fucking nutsack.
Dude, whatever.
Like if I saw that dude in my neighborhood, I'd try to fight him. I'm just gonna say it. If I saw that dude in my neighborhood, I would be like, "Hey, remember when you were in that movie?" I'd be like, "Hey, you gonna take my fucking garbage out, or what's going on?"
That's got some hop to it. That
It
Citra
does.
mantra.
You alright with that?
Holy
It's good
cow!
stuff.
I'm glad you only poured me half a cup at this point. But we got a couple of buddies. Toots is one of them, who obviously is going to be helping with the podcast here down the road in future episodes, and even
get our fucking mics working.
Exactly.
Or else he's out.
Even Hippie, who hopefully once in a while can get on a podcast with us once in a while. Maybe we'll purposely, when he's in town, kind of get one to work around him. But we were talking the other day in our group texts about how they said it looked terrible, and they weren't really interested in it, and they were very skeptical, this and that. And as a kid growing up with Turtles, everything I did was Turtles, man. I still have a box of toys waiting for my son to grow up a little bit older to get to him of all my Turtles. I love that shit growing up. They sit here and they tell me, they have the audacity to tell me that, oh, it's not going to be good because it's Michael Bay. But dude, it's the fucking Ninja Turtles. We're talking about 4 turtles that get covered in radioactive green ooze and turn into ninja.
The line that you used to me was just so incredible.
Go ahead and read it. Do you remember what the line was? I don't remember what I wrote to officially, but to me, it's exactly how I feel.
It summed up though, like exactly kind of the way I felt about it too. But it was so hilarious.
The gist of it was, I am not watching Ninja Turtles for a storyline. I'm watching Ninja Turtles because they're fucking Ninja Turtles that kick people's ass. I don't understand what they're like, oh, the story's going to be terrible. What are they looking for? I don't understand. I don't understand what they're looking for in a live-action movie featuring 4
Well, they're saying that now, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I guess so. It is what it is. I'm going into it with extremely, I don't say high hopes, but just, it is what it is, man. It's going to be action. It's Michael Bay. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to have a lot of close-ups of Megan Fox's lips and her ass and her making pouty faces and all this other stuff. And then it's going to have a bunch of jokes in it that are a little off place, but, it's Michael Bay. Every Transformers movie is the same thing.
It's going to be Michelangelo telling dick jokes and looking for the pizza. I mean,
if Michelangelo tells a dick joke, I'd be truly impressed. It's going to be all, it's exactly, it's Ninja Turtles, and I don't get what they're getting all bent out of shape about. Regardless, the CG of it, how do you feel about that CG? Like, instead of it being like it was back in the 80s and 90s when we were alive. I remember 90s, actually, not 80s.
In the 90s, it really wasn't CG. Like,
look
at the first 2 Turtles movies.
No, there were dudes in costumes, which was awesome.
It's funny because CG has ruined so many things for me.
I
mean, you
100% agree.
Very near and dear to my heart, the Star Wars movies that were redone. In the CG,
I can't watch 2. I know you say you and Toots like 2. I can't watch. Here's so the thing. It's CG heavy and bad.
It's not even 2. It's the redos, the remakes that they did of.
Even like the originals of
the originals. So you're looking at 4, 5, and 6.
Just disappointing.
Especially Jedi, where they had the Jabba the Hutt.
My God!
The scenes from his palace.
Was that Jedi in the beginning? He was in one of them. They superimposed him into 1 or 2 as well, where he was out in the open or something.
Yeah, where Han comes in and he's talking with Han
in the
and he
theater.
steps on his tail.
Oh my God!
Trust me, it makes my stomach turn. Just as any big Star Wars fan would tell you, without getting too nerdy. But it was such a joke. And I look at CG, and it has ruined so many things that are classic.
It's ruined
but
horror and action to me.
It is
tremendously,
but especially classic movies that were built on the premise of them being simple, the simplicity level of it. But you look at something like a Turtles, where you can take it and completely put a different spin on it. You're talking about a different story.
It could definitely work. I'm excited for it. I really am.
You look at Pacific Rim. I wanted to say Pacific Rim.
Lord.
But I mean, like the CG in that and everything is so wonderful and so well done. But again, you've got to have a specific time and place for it. If you're trying to redo it on an old movie and trying to, like Star Wars, add it in, it's a different story.
Yep.
It doesn't work well. But redoing Turtles and restarting it from the beginning and really doing the CGI, which they almost want to be that.
Yeah.
They almost want to be that. They almost, and again, it worked great in the 90s with the Vanilla Ice and the MC Hammer, and, around that time period, it was great for what it was with them in costume, but having that now is more of a new age thing. I just think it's going to work better, and I think it should have been what it was back then, but they didn't have the technology to do it.
I see what you're saying. I look at horror movies. I'm not the biggest horror movie guy, but when you look back to like 80s horror, and even some of the late 70s when Halloween came around, and the Friday 13th and stuff like that, those to me, again, I was a kid, so it's tougher to even judge that, because when you're a kid, obviously everything is scarier than what it is, and everything seems more real. But to me, movies like The Thing and Alien and those movies are so much scarier than movies nowadays. Like, you look at, it's interesting because there's the new one, the Purge Anarchy is coming out, and this is another topic I want to actually discuss.
Did you watch The Purge?
I haven't. I know all about it, and I remember reading about the premise of it and going, "This is fucking awesome." And then this is on Wikipedia. The premise is great. You know, it's a world where for 24 hours, right,
Right.
that
Yep.
all
Yep.
crime is legal, and instantly the director or the writer, whoever created this cool premise, they said, "Duh, let's make a slasher film inside of a movie." That's just, to me, the worst direction you could go with a cool idea like that.
They took a movie to me that was, again, just as you had said. I wanted to go and see it in the theater. I didn't. They took a movie that had such a
You've
great...
seen it.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah. Such a movie that had such a great premise, such a great start right off the bat. And even I'm watching it 25 minutes in and still going, this is so awesome.
So
The way
are
they
you
did
referring to the fact that there? I haven't seen this, so I don't know.
The idea of the film basically is you get a purge day. Once every year,
People, the
basically,
population can
the
kind of
population
write
comes
itself out
right,
because
right.
people
and
murder.
Basically,
And
the more affluent, the more wealthy people have alarms that allow them to be protected
defend
from
themselves
everything that's
and-
going. Well, all of a sudden, the guy who builds these alarms, it doesn't go right for him. Okay,
Mhm.
all of a sudden, his daughter falls in love with this guy who is out to kill him. Yada yada yada, and it still is great up to that point. And
Okay.
It still is the action that's in that film and the unknown that's in that film. They're looking out. There's this guy who needs help. They bring him in for some reason.
Okay.
He's good in there. And then it just turns into, like you said, cheesy slasher. All of a sudden, this guy who made these alarm systems, who has these down to a T, has these teenagers outside knocking going, we want that African-American guy.
This is what I read, that they were after some guy who was looking
all of a
for
sudden,
like safe
you're
haven.
still like, all right, I can still get around this. And then all of a sudden, when you find out the neighbors across the street are like, oh, well, there's people over there, we might as well go over and get our fucking killing on. You're like, this just went to shit real quick. I mean, I have never seen such a movie that had the first half be so great and so interesting. In the second half, I might as well have been in the bathroom taking a shit.
That's what it is on
because
Wikipedia, too. Wikipedia breaks down their shit by premise, plot, yada, yada. You know, when you read the premise and I go, holy shit, that sounds like an idea for a great movie.
I'll never forget. I'm sitting there watching the movie with my wife. 43 minutes in, I'm like, I've got to pee, but I can't even get up because
You
this
gotta
has
know
me
what's
fucking
going on.
glued. This
Yeah.
has me glued. And at the 52-minute mark, I went,
Okay.
why are we still watching this? And she's like, I don't fucking know. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's-
this movie it just went right to shit. It started off so
They're making a
good.
sequel. They're making a sequel called Anarchy.
Which
and I don't know.
I will watch it. I won't go to the theater to watch it.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
watch it just because I think a lot of sequels build on what they did wrong in the first one.
Possibly.
So.
I don't know what to expect, and I don't care. What the crux of my idea was that movies have turned into this idea where you have these good ideas, but you turn them into something that's very mainstream. And when you look back to the 80s, and maybe it was because, again, we were younger, and a movie idea to us was so fresh and new then.
Everything's a redo now. You
But
gotta
now
remember
it
that.
feels like everything's a redo, and
look at-
CG blood is everywhere, and
Right.
CG this and that is everywhere. Whatever happened to... Now, I go back, when I think of horror, again, Alien and The Thing are the two that always come to mind. And when I look at The Thing, that is one of the scariest, most disturbing movies I've ever seen. When that dude is resuscitating the other guy, and all of a sudden, his chest opens up, and he bites off
Right.
the dude's arms.
Right.
That is one of the most fucked up memories I have as a kid. Of just how messed up, how scary this
Right.
movie was. And it was the same thing when the dude's head popped off and the fucking legs come out. The Thing
Right.
was scary as shit. I'm sorry, that was a scary fucking movie.
Yeah, Alien especially. Like to
But then
me, it's the unknown. It's the unknown.
And
It
Alien
really
was
is.
so...
It's a non-human element that you were dealing with when you were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody can run around with a fucking knife, and that's realistic.
Yeah,
that could happen, especially in a lot of people's neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like, but but you look at some of those movies like Alien, and all of a sudden you're taking this idea that you have no clue where it's going or
Yeah.
where it could go.
Agreed.
And even Aliens. I mean, you go back to Aliens now at that point in time, and
Game
not a lot
over,
of movies.
man.
Not a lot of movies have been done that
Aliens is very
included
good.
Aliens.
Aliens
I
is
agree.
very good.
But now you look at it, like 25 years later.
But every
how
spin-off
many
sucks.
Fucking Aliens have been done.
Every
Okay,
spin-off
and now
blows.
Aliens are becoming the new Alien is zombies. Okay,
Oh,
now you look
yeah.
at zombies, and you've got the prototypical zombie who's fucking limping after you. His appendages are fucking falling off, with the exception of World War Z, which sucked my dick, which we won't even get into because.
Well, 28 Days Later, it's a different type
28
of,
Days
it's a
Later,
different type of zombie.
I
That's
love
a
28
scary
Days
fucking
Later.
movie,
I
so
agree,
thought, yeah,
but
it's-
again, that was almost your intro to zombies. If you think about it, I mean, you
what,
look at
about
Walking
10
Dead
years
now.
ago, I'd say.
10 years ago.
But, yeah, probably
And you
that
look
sounds
at
about
Walking Dead now, and I don't know if you saw 28 Weeks Later, but that was also really well done.
I did not see that one.
It was scarier than shit.
I can imagine it was decent if it was keeping that same premise. Zombies to me are not a. They're not scary anymore. At least, especially the Walking Dead ones. Walking Dead is turned into, to me,
you got a dude walking a half a mile an hour with his shit falling off.
It's not a scary TV show at all anymore. Whereas 28 Days Later, where those things weren't even necessarily zombies, quote unquote, as much as they were just
they
like
had that rabid, right. It was almost rabies
that were just absolutely fucking bonkers.
Right.
They were fast, they were strong, they were smart. That's scary,
right?
Because you're talking about cannibals.
Did you see World War Z?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I don't want to watch World War Z simply because I have read the book.
The CGI in that also will drive you nuts.
Bad.
Terrible.
I have read the book, and I have read many things saying that there is maybe 3 or 4 scenes that book related. They just took the name, popped it on the movie.
Don't bother watching it. Not because it's bad, because it's not the book.
It's not even exactly. That's what
they did. They took the title of the book.
They slapped Brad Pitt in there.
I mean, you look at that book, and it had like probably 20 different stories of zombie attacks going on throughout ages, throughout the last 300 years, 400 years. And it was so
Max
well done.
Brooks is awesome.
Max Brooks is awesome.
Both those books he wrote about zombies.
The survival guy.
Yep.
But
just
you look at World War
funny.
Z, and you look at it compared to the movie, and it's such an insult to even have that title the same thing.
Yeah.
Because the book, again, gave you an insight that, hey, this is what happened in the 1600s. But they didn't know what it was.
They didn't know what was going on.
Right,
Dude, that was so cool.
I mean, it just, and then all of a sudden, the girl with the Mets hat dropped in the middle of the jungle, and she's trying to get out, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, the movie was such a horrible representation of the book.
I'll catch it when it hits FX a year or two down the road.
I would tell you, you're better off jerking off the nails because it was just that bad.
It's been a while since I've used nails to jerk off, but
you got it sometimes. But I get it. And that just kind of gets back to the CGI argument and where it works and where it doesn't.
There were ants in that movie. To me, they looked like a colony of spiders.
The way they were
insects,
running
all the previews had like thousands of them climbing a bridge. And that to me is like, that's not a zombie.
Well,
that's just.
Here's the worst part about it. How much have zombies evolved over time as far as what we think we know about them, popularity and everything? And you're looking at the best zombie movie being almost the original zombie movie. I mean, again, obviously not the original. We're looking at, Night of the Living Dead. Those are obviously the original.
How old is that 60s now at this point, 60s, Romero? Is that what that is, 60s?
Yeah. But we're, out of a modern day zombie film, I mean,
metaphors for Russians, right, at that point?
Right. We are basically looking at 28 Days Later being the rebirth of zombie films, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, again,
I agree, and it's more believable.
Has done them over time, and they've to me they've gotten a little stale the way he's done them. I mean, Day of the Dead.
Well, he hit his peak a while back, and
so on and so forth. But
you throw big names in anything, it's going to be cheese, man.
But you look at 28 Days Later and how well it was done, and how it just
for the first 20 minutes, just how empty it was, and
genuinely scared the shit out of you because it became a new unknown. Even though you knew a little bit about zombies, it became a new unknown. But to me, the fact that is still the best zombie film we've had in the last 12 years.
I have to agree.
Makes me sick to my stomach.
I have to agree.
Again,
Walking Dead started that way. Walking Dead, that whole opening.
That first season,
you had him. You had him the dry opening with him shooting the girl in the head. Tremendous. Then you have the whole opening with him and Shane talking in the car, making the jokes about the wives being retards.
He gets shot, right.
Gets shot, wakes up, 28 Days Later type style where he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. That whole first season to me, it was only 6 episodes, and I know it was Frank Darabont did that. That was just so great. And it's gone off the wagon to me at this point. We'll save that for another time because we're already hitting almost close to an hour and a half here. We'll save Walking Dead for another, especially with Toots here because he loves Walking Dead.
Right.
So me and him can get a little bit of back and forth on that. But going back to that whole CGI thing, again, to kind of wrap that up, it comes down to the fact that I love CGI, but my favorite movies of the past 5 years have been Christopher Nolan movies. And they've all...
Like what, per se?
The 3 Batmans, for sure. Inception, Memento, that might have been maybe 7 or 8 years ago now. Prestige.
Memento's longer than that.
Well, maybe 10 years at this point.
You're looking at 5 years.
But the last 8 movies he's done, or 6 movies, whatever it's been, since Memento, have been, to me, so tremendous. And he does not use CGI. I mean, he's got... Every movie uses CGI at some point.
Right.
But everything... Inception is the greatest idea of what I want in a movie in terms of what to do effect-wise. And when you see Joseph Gordon-Levitt flipping around that room. When the car is flipping, he's in the dream and he's fighting the guy. And that to me can only be done using effects that were used in the 70s and 80s. When you go back to like something like 2001 Space Odyssey, Kubrick is light years ahead of anybody of that
For
time.
Sure. I agree.
And when you look at that movie and you look at some of the shit that they did with that movie and the special effects, it is tremendous that looks better than this bullshit where they throw a CG pen. There's a specific scene that I'm picturing right now in Space Odyssey where they're on the ship or plane or whatever it is, and there's a pen floating, and the actual effect is they glued a pen to a piece of glass, and they spun the glass in front of the camera, and you can't see the glass, you only see the pen. That is such a better effect than them taking a camera in an open plane and then popping in a digital pen to move. That effect is so much better, and to see that now used by very few directors is amazing to me, and Nolan's one of them. But again, going back to the debate with the whole Turtles thing, I would love to have seen Turtles in costume, like human beings wearing Jim Henson style costumes, whereas animatronic and this and that. But at the same time, I know what Michael Bay's capable of. He can take a shitty movie and turn it into something that's going to be enormous and a blockbuster, and then I'm going to walk out of the theater going, fuck, that sucked, but man, that was worth my $12.
Michael Bay in June, forget about it. June, July, he could put a fine piece of dog shit on the camera. June or July.
I saw all 3 Transformers in the theater, and I didn't like. I liked the first one. The second 2 in the theater, I walk out there going, man, that movies were bad. But again, you watch them on TV
and
you go,
shit, those movies are exciting. Not to get too far into it, I didn't like any of them, and it's mostly because I'm not a huge Transformers fan.
Okay.
But even still, and just Shia LaBeouf, like just
that dude.
I'm telling you. And again, he was all right in the first one, but man, he was so destined for. He was the Gordon Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
As I was called. He was that of like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's not anymore.
Transformers 2 and 3 became almost like parodies of the first one, if you ask me. The first one it had its Michael Bay jokes. Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 are fucking awesome. Michael Bay did a great job with those movies. I love those. The Island, those are great. And what Michael Bay does is he takes these movies, again, with scripts that are just okay. He puts great special effects, great action. He puts some good comedy in there, so you end up enjoying the movie. It's not going to win an award. A couple of Parrots, Scarlett Johansson. You're going to throw some good stuff in there. But then with the Transformers, it felt like they just got stale, and they were just all right. Every single scene in Transformers was like 75 jokes just piled onto each other.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning when they were developing shit. It's like, oh my god, I can't take Shia LaBeouf and his parents being complete idiots anymore. This is just it's too much.
Order a pizza. It's like you got Bumblebee fucking popping up being like, "Has it got extra pepperoni on it?"
It's too much.
Like
it's too much.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I don't even know where this stemmed from at this point. We definitely got off topic.
It was CGI.
It was all about Turtles. I'm excited for Turtles. We'll stick with that. Is there anything else you'd really like to discuss tonight? We have gone a little bit over an hour and a half.
I've got to be honest. Just kind of recapping everything we did. I felt like it wasn't forced. I felt good. Like it was like we had some good conversations.
With this episode, I thought it was good.
If some people want to listen to it, great. And if not,
if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. If you've made it to 1 hour and 32 minutes, I really appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to us. I've had a good time.
It was just kind of like we had some beers, some conversation, and whatever happened.
I can't imagine this not working in the future. I can't imagine Toots coming in here, or Brian coming in, or Sean, or Derek, or whoever we bring in to help us out and talk. I can't imagine this not going as smoothly as it did. We had some technical difficulties before.
I'll be honest with you, though. We've been working on this now. We've been going for an hour and a half. I haven't had to think 3 times about it.
No.
The only time I had to think about it was when he went up to go pee, and I was like, and then I think that the plane. What I think was the plane was. I think what happened was
I kind of lost it there.
They were going upstairs and they were looking at the plane, and then it disappeared. And I like turtles.
But I am not sure who's going to listen to this first podcast. If it's going to be probably me and him listening to it ourselves, maybe a couple of family members, a couple of friends.
I might masturbate to it.
We do have a Twitter account, Defcon Flannel. We do have a YouTube page coming up. We do have
Our Twitter's Defcon Flannel.
It's Defcon Flannel, just like it is. But I want to make sure the colon's in there so people know that it's not spelled out COLO. It's not awkward.
Defcon, get your colon checked. Flannel.
It's yeah. So there will be more postings. There will be that kind of stuff. We are going to get a little better at this. This is our kind of our first outing. We're still getting the hang of everything. Again, we want to thank you guys for sticking with us this whole hour 34. We're really glad you guys stuck around. We were hoping to talk about a few other things, including Deshaun Jackson, some football talk, some bracket talk. We didn't really get into it tonight. If you guys want to shoot us a message on Twitter, leave us something on Facebook. Maybe we can comment it in the next podcast. Other than that, though, do you have anything else you want to comment on
really
tonight?
appreciate everybody listening. And again, it's only going to get better from here. So, for our first go at it, I'm had a good time. That's for sure.
All right, guys. Again, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll see you next time on Defcon Flannel.
Defcon Flannel!
Take care, guys.